one bill that he's blocking that would benefit everybody in the western United States and the natural resources of the United States. I believe when you block something and you take a position like that, there should be consequences. And all I'm doing is mentioning his name and trying to get around him with a petition. So that seems somewhat reasonable to me. So let's see, is there anybody? Yes, sir.
I'm a member of NARP, National Association of Active Retired Federal Employees. I was wondering if you'd talk about the cost of a living allowance, how the cost of a living allowance are determined, and why the change in consumer price index is bad for seniors.
Good question.
It is an excellent question. The consumer price index is calculated, and it's been changed over time, but it's based on mostly on consumer goods. And it doesn't give a lot of weight to essential things or things that seniors buy in volume. Pharmaceuticals, very little weight. Housing, energy, all those things. It puts a lot of weight on computers, iPads, you know, all the junk that people are buying all the time. So the consumer price index does not really represent the true costs of living for many Americans, and particularly not for seniors. So for years, I've sponsored the idea of what's called a CPIE, a Consumer Price Index for Elderly. And because they've been doing a shadow CPIE at the Department of Labor for years, they're the ones who come up with these things. And it would basically weight things like pharmaceuticals, medical care, housing, you know, essentials, heavier than consumer goods, which would mean that there would be a larger, you know, consumer price index, you know, or a larger number for seniors. And that's the reality of it. It should be that way, but there's obviously resistance to it because veterans programs are tied to it, Social Security is tied to it, other programs are tied to it, your retirement's tied to it, because you said you're NARF. So I think I'm on the bill again in this Congress. I've been on a number of Congresses, but we have yet to get fair consideration. A few years ago, seniors were told there wasn't any inflation and they didn't get any increase, yet their Medicare premiums went up, and they know their pharmaceuticals went up, and other things went up. So we need a new measure to be more fair to people who are on fixed income. So, yes?
Well, I have your attention. I want to thank you for your support of the VA. I'm a 66-year veteran, and I like the way you support the VA.
People who haven't asked the question yet. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I want to thank you, and I just think